We are gathered here today to celebrate the union of John Matthias Matthey and Jeanette Noel Elena Morris, which is quite the mouthful. It's Elena Noel now. I was always told two names. I've had the immense blessing to get to know John and Jeanette over the last 3 years.
You guys can be seated, that's cool.
Oh yeah, sorry. Take a seat whenever you're good. And I met John first, and he used to sit behind me in a biblical literature class, and I remember seeing him walk into class one day, fully bearded, and I'm like, he can't be 19, first off. But then also thinking, that is one of the coolest, smartest seeming people I've ever met, and I got to know him, and I realized what he gives off is exactly who he is. I remember seeing him and thinking, he's just got this vibe about him. Like, he's this guy who's wanted to read 1,000 books and read so many more for no other purpose than to learn and for curiosity's sake. I met Jeanette because of John. John introduced me to her, and for the life of me, I could not remember her last name. But I remembered meeting Jeanette and thinking, oh my goodness, it's a Disney princess in real life. You know, she's whimsical, and she has a heart that just cares beyond bounds for people. Loves people, and her laugh is infectious. She has a sing-songy attitude about everything. And like I said, I could not remember Jeanette's last name, and so for the longest time, I was just referring to them as the Mattheys. They clicked and they fit together, and it just made so much sense. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth. And let them rule over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created them, male and female. He created them. And we can see from passages like this that we have a marking, a likeness, a bearing, an image that is now our job to project to the world, but also to those we're in relationship with.
In just a little while there'll be no pain, no suffering, crying or tears. The old way of things will have passed on, and all will have changed.
Love in this sense is being a servant to another. It means to care beyond yourself and to share your life with another person, to suffer in an effort to lighten their burdens and their worries, and to make their life as joyful as possible. To love is to care for that person in all shapes and sizes and forms. It means so much. But really, love is not easy. It is a daily decision. It is not something we fall into or out of so flippantly as culture leads us to believe. It's a choice we make every day. And so love is cultivated in vulnerability, authenticity, honesty, community, and as humans in pursuit of our fullest humanity, after the example set before us by Jesus, love is the best thing we do.
His bright shining face, just like the light of day, once and for all, darkness will die.
On the night that Jesus was betrayed, he stooped to the level of a servant. He got down on his hands and knees, and he began to clean his disciples' feet. He began to clean the muck, the dirt, the grime off of their feet. And this is the lowest of the low kinds of jobs.
Be separated by anything at all. In just a little while, he'll restore us.
For I assure you, A slave is no greater than his master, and a messenger no greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, you'll be blessed if you do them.
Swept away for a picture's reveal.
Do you promise to trust Jeanette with your life and with your heart and with everything that you have and everything that you are? Do you promise to be humble and seek reconciliation and do your best to give forgiveness freely and without bitterness? Do you promise to serve Jeanette and seek her good above all else? Do you promise to sacrifice your time, your independence, your pride, in order to share this life with her and increase her happiness? Do you promise to be true to Jeanette in every way, giving yourself to no other? Do you promise that you will come alongside Jeanette when she is suffering and struggling, and do you promise not to leave her alone in that? And finally, John, do you promise to never give up on this journey you are starting here today, no matter how hard it gets?
I do.
And Jeanette, it's your turn. I ask of you, do you promise to trust John with your life, and with your heart, and with everything that you have and everything that you are? Do you promise to be humble and seek reconciliation and offer forgiveness freely and without bitterness? Do you promise to serve John and seek his good above all else? Do you promise to sacrifice your time, your independence, and your pride in order to share this life with him and increase his happiness? And do you promise to be true to John in every way, giving yourself to no other person but him? And do you promise to come alongside John when he's suffering and struggling? And do you promise not to leave him alone in that? And finally, do you promise to never give up on this journey you're starting here today, no matter how difficult it may get?
I do.
Then it is my deepest joy to pronounce John and Jeanette husband and wife. Please kiss your spouse.
There was one competition where I didn't win anything, and Jeanette won first place in her age division. And I was so sad because I was probably about 8 or 9. I was so sad and discouraged. And she saw how sad I was, and she came over to give me her trophy that she earned because she has such a kind and giving heart. I'm so grateful to have a brother-in-law. I am so excited to finally call him my brother-in-law. And on that note, I wish you guys a happily ever after. And cheers. I will raise a glass to the next chapter of your adventure together. To you, John and Jeanette.
Have learned so much from you and your relationship with John, the way that you are so strong and determined to make sure you put in the hard work. I know you guys are going to make it till 100, to love and to growing together with everyone here who is so supportive of you and loves you so much, your closest friends and your closest family. From all of us to you guys, we love you and we are so excited to keep growing together with you guys.